Many good sayings are to be found in holy books, but merely reading them will not make one religious. The world is indeed a mixture of truth and make-believe. Discard the make-believe and take the truth. If you must be mad, be it not for the things of the world, be mad with the love of God. Travel in all the four quarters of the earth, yet you will find nothing anywhere. Whatever there is only here. Longing is like the rosy dawn. After the dawn out comes the sun. Longing is followed by the vision of God. Disease is the tax which the soul pays for the body, as the tenant pays house rent for the use of the house. God is in all men, but all men are not in God. That is why we suffer. God is everywhere, but he is most manifest in man. So serve man as God. That is as good as worshipping God. When the divine vision is attained, all appear equal, and there remains no distinction of good and bad or of high and low. If you first fortify yourself with the true knowledge of the universal self, and then live in the midst of wealth and worldliness, surely they will in no way affect you. A man is truly free, even here in this embodied state, if he knows that God is the true agent, and he by himself is powerless to do anything. More are the names of God, and infinite are the forms through which he may be approached. In whatever name and form you worship him, through them you will realize him. Bondage is of the mind, freedom too is of the mind. If you say, I am a free soul, I am a son of God who can bind me, free you shall be. Unless one always speaks the truth, one cannot find God, who is the soul of truth. When one has love for God, one doesn't feel any physical attraction to wife, children, relatives, and friends. One retains only compassion for them. Through selfless work, love of God grows in the heart. Then through his grace one realizes him in course of time. God can be seen. One can talk to him as I am talking to you. It is easy to talk on religion, but difficult to practice it. To work without attachment is to work without the expectation of reward or fear of any punishment in this world or the next. Work so done is a means to the end, and God is the end. The fabled musk deer searches the world over for the source of the scent which comes from itself. Work apart from devotion or love of God is helpless and cannot stand alone. When the flower blooms, the bees come uninvited. Pray to God that your attachment to such transitory things as wealth, name, and creature comforts may become less and less every day. Many are the names of God, and infinite the forms through which he may be approached. The winds of God's grace are always blowing. It is for us to raise our sails. That knowledge which purifies the mind and heart alone is true knowledge. All else is only a negation of knowledge. The man who works for others without any selfish motive really does good to himself. Common men talk bagfuls of religion, but do not practice even a grain of it. The wise man speaks a little, even though his whole life is religion expressed in action. Do not seek illumination, unless you seek it as a man whose hair is on fire seeks a pond. The winds of God's grace are always blowing. It is for us to raise our sails. Different creeds are but different paths to reach the same God. Finish the few duties you have at hand, and then you will have peace. The goal of life is not the earning of money, but the service of God. All religions are true. God can be reached by different religions. Many rivers flow by many ways, but they fall into the sea. They all are one. Knowledge leads to unity, but ignorance to diversity. All troubles come to an end when the ego dies. The tree laden with fruits always bends low. If you wish to be great, be lowly and meek. Man suffers through lack of faith in God. If you meditate on your ideal, you will acquire its nature. If you think of God day and night, you will acquire the nature of God. Why does God allow evil in the world? To thicken the plot. At a certain stage in the path of devotion, the devotee finds satisfaction in God with form, and at another stage in God without it. Whoever wants God intensely finds him. Go and verify it in your own life. If a man prays to thee with a yearning heart, he can reach thee through thy grace by any path. If you spent 1/10 of the time you devoted to distractions like chasing women or making money to spiritual practice, you would be enlightened in a few years. It is on account of the ego that one is not able to see God. In front of the door of God's mansion lies the stump of ego. One cannot enter the mansion without jumping over the stump. One cannot be spiritual as long as one has shame, hatred, or fear.